Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I thought today we could do a January recap of what I've read and then also some hopefuls that I have for February. So if you did watch my first video back in January, you saw that I had to read 20 books. That was the goal. And I'm happy to say I actually managed 31. Now the question is, did I get through all of I think I went through 21 with you. Did I get through all of those? We will see in this video. I also spun a wheel for February and it said 8. So I've got to hit a minimum of 8. Bear in mind, equivalent of 1 book a day was read in January. I'm pretty happy with the goal of 8. I feel like that's achievable. I feel like that's completely within my remit. So I thought I'd do a quick recap of the 31 books I've read. Obviously, if you want detailed reviews, they are over on my TikTok, but let's just do a quick run through. Book 1 was Fight by Sloane St. James. This is a forced proximity workplace situationship. I absolutely adored this. The spice was great. It was super fun. And I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. The second was Protect by Paisley Hope. This is a single mum, second chance romance situation. Absolutely adored this one as well. Again, the spice was great, but I love the single mum trope. I think this is the month that I was like, single mums completely are the trope that wins me over. And I gave this 4 stars. Then we have The Dare by Holly LaRue. This was like a fun little novella that comes before Loser series. I read the Loser series last year and I just wanted to round it up with The Dare. It's very spicy. There's not much story to it, which obviously you're going to get more of the main plot from Losers Part 1 and Part 2. And I gave this 3.5 stars. Then we have When Gavin Met Stacey and Everything in Between by Ruth J. Jones and James Corden. Blur their names together. This is actually non-fiction. I don't normally touch non-fiction, but I'm a huge Gavin and Stacey fan. So if you need something to kind of fill that gap after watching Gavin and Stacey and it all being over, this is definitely it. And I gave this 5 stars. Perfection. Then we have Depraved Devotion by Morgan Bridges. This is a psycho man locked in prison talking to a psychologist. I think it's psychologist, not psychiatrist. I get the two muddled up. Still to this day, I don't know the difference. Very dark, very twisted. I gave it 4 stars. It would have had 5 if book 2 was already out. I'm not going to lie. The fact I've still got so many questions, I don't want to say 5 stars just yet. I want to see where book 2 takes us and if I enjoy the journey as much. This may get bumped up to a 5-star, but currently it's sitting at 4. Then we have The Sacred Space Between by Callie Reid. This is I would say it's more dystopian than fantasy book about a god and an iconographer. Was he a god or is he a saint, sorry, an iconographer? I did not gel with this book at all. I gave it 2 stars. I loved the characters. I absolutely despised the plot of this. There was not enough explanation. It was very confusing. The only reason I actually didn't DNF this book was because I wanted to know what happened to the 2 main characters. I actually really connected with them. The plot, I wasn't as bothered about. Then we have The Surrogate Mother by Frida McFadden. Devoured this. I think I read this in about 3 or 4 hours. Couldn't put it down. Such a page turner. If you are ever going to have a surrogate, this book, do not read because it would make you panic to the high heavens. 4 stars, super easy, fun read, nice little palate cleanser. Then I read Fallen Gods by Rachel Van Dyke, and who knew spicy Norse gods are going to be that interesting? The only thing I still give this 5 stars, but the only thing I'd say is I got to the end and I was like, would there be another book? Have we been left on a cliffhanger ending? I was so confused with the ending of the book. I didn't know if I was coming or going, but I absolutely adored it. Completely 5 stars. Then we have Honor by Danielle Baker. This is my favourite single mum book I think I've ever read because it's your brother's best friend who's your next door neighbour. There's that forced proximity and he adores your children. 5 star, made me cry. Shouldn't have made me cry, but I was absolutely obsessed with it. Then we have We Who Will Die by Stacia Stark. Such an easy book to read. If you love that kind of tournament setting, vampires, Hunger Games, Crown of Nyaxia vibes, this one is perfect for you. I gave this 4 stars and I cannot wait to continue the series, but I have a feeling we're not going to be picking this one back up till 2027, which is another problem of mine, locking myself into a long-term series. Then we have The Bookbinder Secret by A.D. Bell. I really enjoyed this as a historical fiction book. Is it my favourite historical fiction book I've ever read? No. I enjoyed the concept of bookbinding, finding out how books were made in the 1900s. Found that super interesting. Gave this 3 stars. I think for me, I just need a little bit more historical fiction or a little bit more relevance. The story was still super great, super engaging. I just love Kristen Hanna and I think I find it hard to read anything else in historical fiction, not gonna lie. Then we have Untamed Heart by Gemma Moore. I was super nervous going into this. I have a little bit of a problem with cowboy authors setting books in 2 settings with England and America because I've had a really bad experience of one. 4-star read, super fun. There was enough trauma to keep me engaged. And I'm going to say it, I don't like picking up new authors for cowboys because I now have some of my favourite authors when it comes to cowboy romances. I'm very unwilling to open up that gate. But wow, so glad I did, and I cannot wait for the second book coming out this year. Then we have Bluebird Girl by Devney Perry. I actually gave this 1.5 stars. It was going so well, but for me, if you're gonna throw crime and thriller into your book, you need to make the crime and thriller realistic and not rush it at the end. Did I love the romance? Yes. Did I love the single dad? Yes, which is unusual for me. But the crime and thriller just ain't hitting it. Then I read 6 Amazon original stories. I actually listened to these on audiobook. I still count that as reading. It's not often I listen to an audiobook, but these were fun Valentine's Day romances. So we had Accidentally Yours by Christina Lauren. I gave that one 4 stars. Then we have Time Will Tell by Hannah Bowman Young. I gave that one 4 stars. You can see where we're going. Then we had Second Act Romance by Julie Soto. Gave that one 4 stars. A Play for Love by Trelina Pucci. I actually gave that one 3.5 stars. I just needed a little bit more from that one. Death to Valentine's Day by Catherine Cowles, 5 stars. And Valentine's Sleigh by Nevessa Allen, 5 stars. I'll put them on the screen, but yeah, if you want more detailed reviews on those ones, definitely check my TikTok out, because I feel like I've talked about them a lot. And my Instagram, I've actually written full reviews for them as well. Then we have Catch Her If You Can by Tessa Bailey. This is what the cover will look like. I gave this 3 stars. I really enjoyed it. There were some unrealistic sex scenes in it for me personally, and Picture Perfect, which is the book before it, still has my heart. So I kind of feel like once you fall in love with one book in the series, you compare it to it. It was a great way to round off the series and complete it, but book 4 will always have my heart. Then I read Rejected by Jamin Eve. This is a shadow shifter wolf romance. It's got everything you want. The sprayed edge is absolutely perfect. I need all 6 books in this edition now, and I'm having to wait patiently for the next book coming out. But yes, 5 stars, super read. Everybody needs to pick this up. Jamin Eve is such a good author. I feel like she's so underrated. Then I read Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I gave this 3 stars. It's not a romance story, and I shouldn't have gone into it thinking it was going to be as romantic as it was. I really enjoyed this classic. I think it's a really important one to read, especially with the film coming out soon. Make sure you read it before the film. I just prefer more of a modern day classic. That's just my personal preference, and I did enjoy it, but it is a little bit different to maybe some of my other ones I think in my heart are my favourites. Then I back-to-back read Beautiful Venom and Sweet Venom. Loved this one so much. So glad I gave it a second go. If you're worried about the non-con, don't worry. 5-star read. Absolutely love the story, and it had a Wuthering Heights reference in it, which was so funny that I just read it the book before. Then Sweet Venom felt a little bit repetitive for the first third of the book, so I gave it 4.5 stars. I think if I'd had the gap that everybody else has had in it, I probably would have enjoyed it more, but obviously they were retelling that story. But so glad I dived back in and picked those Rena books up. Then To Cage a Wild Bird by Brooke Fast. Yes. This book is perfection. Dystopian heaven. If you love Hunger Games, anything like that, Divergent, Maze Runner, you need it. This is one of my favourite books I've read this year. 5 stars. I want to give it 6 stars if I could, but I need book 2. Brooke Fast is releasing this, I think, in March in America. I don't know how we got it first. And I'm terrified of how long I'm going to have to wait for book 2. Absolutely terrified. I think she wrote it in a day as well. I saw something on TikTok. Then I read My Dark Fairy Tale by Gianna Darling. I gave this 1 star. It was not for me. I love a mafia book. This one fell so flat, and I'm so sad that it did, because it should have been good. It was an age gap sex show, and in the last chapter he says, "I'm in the mafia," like that, and that's kind of, I will not be diving into book 2. No. I am going to spend my time reading better mafia books, and that one was not for me. Then I read another Frida McFadden called Death Row. I gave this 4 stars. It was really fun, short, twisty, turny, and at one point I thought I was going crazy. Like, I believed the main character so much, I thought I've lost my mind, and I loved that. Then I read another short story by Lee Child called 11 Numbers. I just miss Lee Child in my life. I met him last year and I thought, do you know what? I need a little bit of Lee Child. Gave it 5 stars. It's a mathematician being put in prison to crack a code. So fun. As a mathematician myself, I just thought, this is perfect. Then I read Queen of Faces by Petra Lord, which officially came out on the 29th. I met Petra in person, so mine is a signed edition. I went to a talk that she was doing. This is so good. It's fantasy, it has a magic system, it has a class system, and it really explores gender in such a clever way that I highly recommend. I gave this 4 stars. Then King of Beasts by Catherine Doyle. I was so glad to finalise the series off of the Twin Crowns. 5-star read. If you haven't read the Twin Crown series, I met her yesterday for the first time ever, then you need to. It's absolutely amazing. It's fantasy, it's YA. I love both of these authors so much. This is her spin-off book. So yeah, I would definitely recommend reading the trilogy first before diving into the spin-offs. But it was so fun. It was like a forced proximity, brother's best, what would I say? brother's best friend, brother's acquaintance romance, and it just has animals and everything you could want. And then the last book of January is called A Dark Forgetting. I always forget the title of this, by Kristen Ciccarelli. You know my obsession with this author, 5-star read. It kind of feels like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but done so well that I didn't realise it was a Beauty and the Beast retelling. So that's always a go-to yes for me. And this comes out in February and you need to read it. So that was a super quick run through of the books I read in January. The two I didn't get to, one was The Silversmith, which I thought I wouldn't get to this one in all honesty, by LJ Clarence. That'll be on my February list. And the other one is Cruel as the Light by Sophie Clarke. I just felt I had done a lot of fantasy back-to-back at one point. So this one, again, will be on my February list. I'm now going to dive into some of the books that I want to read in February, because I think that's important to reflect on as well. But if there are any that you want to know a little bit more about, obviously do check my TikTok out. Or if you just want me to go through them a little bit more, I can do like a little YouTube short on them even. So do just let me know. And should I start putting my reviews on YouTube shorts? I don't know if people want to see them or not. So let me know in the comments and let's dive into February hopefuls. Okay, so like I said, 8 was my number that I rolled for February. So I have to read at least 8 books, 4 of which are going to be book club books. I think this is going to be hopefully an easy one. So let's dive in and have a look at some of my February hopefuls. There are quite a few. So the first one is for book club. This is All Too Wells by Corinne Michaels. This is a small town romance. It does have a beautiful sprayed edge. It is the first in a 4-book series. I don't know if I'm going to do all 4 this month. I haven't decided, but definitely the first one is book club. It's a second chance romance with your brother's best friend who is now also a single dad, and you're kind of in a forced proximity situation with him. So for as long as I can remember, Lachlan West has been my brother's best friend and the love of my life. Trouble is, he kissed me 4 years ago and then we never spoke again. So I don't feel like it's a full second chance romance, but more like a second chance encounter. Then we also have Cruel King by Rena Kent. This is actually a reread for me. I'm waiting for my trad version to turn up. I'm going to compare my trad to my indie version to see if there's any differences. And I am going to dive back into the Rena Kent verse. So I don't know how many books of Rena Kent I'll read this month. I'm only saying this one is definitely on my list because it is book club. This is Levi and Astrid's story. So Levi was born into money, went to school in money, lives in money, thinks money is everything, and gets away with a lot because of all the money he has. Whereas Astrid was born but not raised in money. Her mum kind of ran away with her. She's passed away. She's now gone back to live with her dad, and she meets Levi, and let's just say he is going to make her life a living hell. So I feel like this is a really good one to have on my list for that reason. Then we also have just a little bit of a different one for me. So this is Galentine's Day by Rebecca Anderson. I'm really excited to read this. So it's a sleepover that happens every Valentine's Day between 3 best friends. We first meet them on the 13th of February, 2013, because obviously they're waking up together on Valentine's Day or Galentine's Day. And then it fast forwards through their life. You follow them each year and you get to 2026. There's only 2 of them. But the thing I love is you've got text messages, you've got emails, you've got different mixed media, you've got multiple points of view. And you're seeing this friendship go through all the struggles that normal friendships go through. And I think that's going to be such a fun concept for this series. Book. I don't think it's a series. It's a book, Mills. It's a book. Then the other one that we're definitely reading for book club is Dante by Sadie Kincaid. Mine is on its way. It officially came out on the 29th. I was late to ordering it because I had to add some other things to my basket. But that is like arranged marriage, first in a series. I don't know if it's a duology or a 4-book series. I never know Sadie Kincaid. But I'm super excited for it because if Sadie Kincaid's written it, I love it a little bit more. And I think after Gianna Darling's My Dark Fairy Tale, I need some Mafia redemption, please. Then for arcs, I know for a fact I am reading One Night Surrender by Caitlin Taylor, which is the 2nd book in the One Night series. It is a fiance's sister sex club trope. I'm getting that sent to me on the 7th of February and that officially comes out on the 17th of February for you guys to read. So of course that one is definitely on my list, the 5th book on my list. And I just love Caitlin Taylor, which leads me on to a couple of other books on my list. So the 6th book I want to read in February is Gratify. I mean, these can be read in any order, let's be honest, but the 6th book I'm hoping to read is Gratify by Caitlin Taylor. I think this is meant to be like Credence level of taboo. So this girl has her parents, they pass away, and she has a boyfriend, and her boyfriend has a dad, and the dad is her godfather, and she goes to live with them, but I think she starts to have feelings for the godfather, and I think at this point the boyfriend may even be an ex-boyfriend because of some shady business. But I didn't know this book existed from Caitlin Taylor, so you bet you I ordered this. It's so pretty inside as well. And Atlas is one of the names of the character and Andromeda is the other name. And I just love that. And I heard there's a little bit of Capricorn mention as well. And I'm a Capricorn, so anytime there's a character who is a Capricorn, my goodness, do I gel with them. They're just strong, feisty female FMCs. So yeah, I think this is going to be such a fun read. I love Caitlin Taylor, and I know that I need to read a little bit more of her after I've read her new book, because I'm going to have an obsession with her again. When do I not have an obsession with her though, let's be honest. And then the 7th book on my list is actually The Loyalties We Break, also by Caitlin Taylor. So this is the first in what I believe is a sport romance series. I've had this on my TBR for a while, and I just haven't got around to reading it. So I think this is going to be such a fun read. I just love it. It's about like the person who like breaks your loyalty isn't someone who's far away from you. It's normally your closest friend. So I think there's going to be betrayal. And there's 4 books in the series. I'm definitely going to read the first one. It may spiral me into reading the other 3. I don't know. I try not to read all of one series in a month. Obviously, I did with the Skyridge Hotshot series in January, but that was because there's 3 different authors with that. So I'm going to try not to, but I have a feeling I'm just going to be Caitlin Taylor obsessed. We might have quite a few Caitlin Taylor books on the end of February. There's only 28 days in February this year, so is there 28? Yeah, 28. So I feel like I need at least 3 of my books to be Caitlin Taylor. Then book 8 is, obviously you know I'm doing my crime thriller. So this is Beth is Dead by Katie Burnett. This is a Scholastic book, so this falls into the YA crime and thriller category, which I'm really excited for. All her sisters are suspected of murdering her, and they are called the March Sisters, which is actually based around Little Women. So I can't count this as my classic, but it is inspired by Little Women, and I love that story. So I feel like this is a really good one. Mine's actually signed, and I've got a really cute pin with it as well. But yeah, I think that's going to be a fun YA, really easy to read. I've seen this everywhere. I've seen people pick it up, and I really wanted to get my hands on this. Then book 9 is really special to me. So this is by Sage Frost, who is one of the loveliest people that comes into my TikTok lives, and she has become an author in the last year. And she's written a book called Everything I Didn't Expect. It's a novel about forgiveness, healing, and learning to love yourself. And I absolutely love that girl. So of course, this one has to be on my February TBR. I was going to read it in January, and I thought, no, I want to do it in February so that I get to mention on my YouTube and I get to talk to you guys about it. And it is signed as well. So I will let you know. I'm so excited. I'm so proud of Sage for writing a book as well. And I'm just really, oh, there's trigger warnings. I love it. I'm just really excited to read this. And see where it goes. I'll definitely do a more detailed review of this one for you guys. Then book 10 ticks off my classic, and this is Frankenstein. I really want to watch the new movie, but I've stopped myself from watching it until I've read this. And this is Amina Lima, so it does have interactive pages, it has artwork, it really brings the story to life. And I haven't read Frankenstein before, which you're going to be like, Mills, who are you? Because I do read quite a few classics, but this isn't one I've picked up. I know Frankenstein is the name of the person and his monster. He has a monster, and people always assume Frankenstein is the monster. So I know that is a misconception that is incorrect. Misconception, is that the correct word? But yeah, I'm really excited to read this, and I love reading Mina Lima, so this is just gonna be like a nice cozy read for me in February. Then book 11 is Wrecked by Brie L. Mina. I have been recommended this book by quite a few people now because they know I like to cry. And I didn't cry enough in January. Do you know what I realised? Not many books brought me to tears in January, and I was really connected to the characters. I just didn't cry. So this is about a plane wreck, I think. I'm a little bit scared. Yeah, it is a plane wreck. I'm a little bit scared I was going to get red rabbited. If you know the reference, you know the reference. But everyone has told me I won't. I think this is going to be heartbreaking. I'm a little bit scared to read this one because people have said it really messed with them. But I need a cry. I need a cry. So February, let's see. And I will record me crying if it makes me break. Let's see if I can break myself with this book in February. Then book 12, I've just picked up. So this is My Husband's Wife by Alice Feeney. This was potentially going to be a book club read, but it wasn't. It has a really pretty sprayed edge for a thriller as well. So this is about a woman who knocks on the door of a house. Her husband's answered the door. There's a woman there who looks eerily like her, and her husband's like, who on earth are you? I love an Alice Feeney book. His and Hers has just been turned into this TV series. So I think this is going to be a really good one to read. I don't think it's a very chunky one, but yeah, getting a sprayed edge for crime thriller is so unusual. So I had to pick this up. And I can see there's quite a few chapters with different points of view. I think it's going to be a really fun one. I have already read my crime and thriller for this month, but I have put a few crime and thrillers on. I feel like I'm getting back into my crime and thriller era. And after Bluebird Gold, I want crime and thrillers that I'm going to go, yes, this is what I'm talking about. Then book 13, I picked up another brand new book. This is called King of Ravens by Claire Sager. And this is published by Wayward. And I have seen this on everybody's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube page, everywhere. I didn't get sent one, which is fine. You're not gonna get sent everything, but because of that, I have FOMO. So this one says, he'll do anything to keep her, she'll do anything to escape. And I'm hoping it gives Cage of a Wild Bird vibes, because I love that by Brooke Fast, and I kind of need something to get me back into that space. So Rihanna is dying of what she doesn't know, kept protected by her family in the clifftop home she spends her days searching for a cure. Her world is torn apart when an unseelie king of the dead arrives and gives her a simple choice: descend to the underworld to be his bride, or he'll take her family instead. Of course, arranged marriage or your family's always happens. Trapped in a twisted bargain, Rhiannon is thrust into a world of withered guards, scheming courtiers, and an ancient magic, but she refuses to be a pawn in a game she never agreed to play. Her new husband is powerful, cold, and infuriating, and she is determined to hate him. So yeah, I think this is gonna be such a good book. I don't know if it's just one point of view, but I've seen everyone raving about it, literally raving about it, and I needed a new fantasy to be obsessed with. So this one's on my TBR. Then book 14 was actually a Christmas present for one of my friends who knows my obsession with Lisa Jewell and found that I hadn't read a Lisa Jewell book. So this is the house we grew up in. Now, if you know anything about me, I've met Lisa Jewell twice. I've read a lot of her books as advanced copies. I am a big Lisa Jewell fan. If she writes it, I love it. Last year, her book did fall a little bit flat for me, I'm not going to lie. She should write from a female point of view because she gets women in writing perfectly. So this one says, an unforgettable story about unforgettable story about a family with a terrible secret. And I'm hoping it's going to give the family upstairs vibes. The Birds seem to be the perfect family. Mother, father, 4 children, a charming cottage in the country. But one Easter weekend, something happens, something so unexpected, so devastating, that no one can bring themselves to talk about it. The family shatters, seemingly for good, until years later when they're forced to return to the house they grew up in and confront the tragedy that broke them apart. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm going to have a look when this came out because I didn't know this existed. And I thought I had read every single Lisa Jewell book. 2013, but it came out again in 2025 with this cover, so that makes sense. Maybe for a while it was like indie published or something, so that makes sense. It was more of a last year's book, but I'm very excited to give this a go. And if it was written in 2013, she's going to be writing in the style that I love the most. Then book 15, I'm going to blame whoever was on my live, and I wish I remembered their name. I'm so sorry if I've forgotten. You know what? I have so many conversations on live and people pop in and out, sometimes just sporadically. This person said to me, if you like JT Geisinger, you need to read Perfect Strangers. Now, I probably am JT Geisinger's #1 fan. I think we know that at this point. JT Geisinger's written it, I want to read it. And I haven't read this. And they said it was their favourite JT Geisinger book. And I was like, more than all the other ones that I've mentioned. Okay, great. Let's try it. So it says, author Olivia hasn't been able to write a word since tragedy struck 2 years ago and ripped her world apart. Heartbroken and still haunted by her past, she accepts an offer to spend the summer at a friend's apartment in Paris in search of healing and her lost muse. What she finds instead is James, an enigmatic stranger who ignites in her an unexpected and all-consuming passion. Now, I hope this is going to have the usual JT Geisinger plot twist. I hope it's going to keep me on my toes, and I will let you know what I think. But if this is someone's favourite JT Geisinger book, I've got to give it a go, right? Then book 16 is the first book in the Kingdom of Crows series. So this is House of Beating Wings by Olivia Wildenstein. This is meant to give like Akatari style vibes. It's got beautiful sprayed edges. There's 5 books in the series. So of course I've just got to dive in on book 1. It's about a girl who is half fae, half human. She kisses a full fae prince. She thinks, why would he ever be interested in me? And she has this prophecy told that if she can free the crows. I was about to say ravens, but free the crows and you will become queen. So I'm like, this is going to be good. I have a feeling this is going to be amazing. I think it is dual point. No, it's not dual point of view. It is not dual point of view. I thought it was. But yeah, it's got a map. It is quite a chunky one to put on my February list. But I still think it's going to be such a fun book to read. And I need a little bit more fantasy in my life at the moment. Then book 17 is An Arcane Inheritance by Camilla Cole. Arcane Inheritance. I cannot say that today. This is meant to be a bit of fantasy mixed with dark academia. I am a huge dark academia fan. If you set it in a university with a secret society, some plot twists, maybe some fantasy elements, count me in. I haven't heard if this is a series or not. I've heard it's a standalone. Do I trust anyone anymore? No, I have trust issues. But yeah, this, I think, is going to be absolute perfection. It didn't win book club. Even books that didn't win book club, have you realised they've still ended up being on my TBR because of course, everything I put forward for book club, I wanted to read. So yeah, this one I'm really excited to read. I don't know what order I'm going to read these books in. That's the problem. I might show you. I'll do like a little short and show you how, as a mood reader, I pick what I'm going to read because you are going to see the chaos in how my brain unravels. Then book 18 is In the Dark by Chelsea Curto. This is meant to be a Halloween dark romance. Have I read it in Halloween? No. I had put it on my TBR and then I just didn't feel like reading a Halloween book. I'm not the biggest Halloween fan, but I love like dark romance set around Halloween. So it's about a girl who meets a serial killer who's supposedly the good kind. And I love Chelsea Curto. I'm missing her writing at the moment. And it has text messages in. And I just think it's going to be such a fun read. And yeah, I just want more people to read Chelsea Curtis, hence I put this on my TBR. Then book 19 is If You Dare by Harmony West. People have been telling me to get this read ASAP. It's dark romance with ice hockey, revenge, plot twist. I know one of my friends has read it and she says it gives her similar vibes to the Devil's Night series by Penelope Douglas. So yeah, of course, I haven't put this one off for as long as I needed to. Sometimes when I really think a book's gonna be good, I put it to the bottom of my TBR all the time. And I'm like, no, don't read it yet. No, don't read it yet. No, don't read it yet. Because you know it's gonna be a good book. I don't know if anybody else is like me, but I'm like, I don't want to read it because I know it's gonna be good. So there's 4 books in the series. I'm gonna dive into book 1 and I will obviously let you know what I think, but I'm so excited for this one. Then book 20 is technically another reread. This is Rook and Rebel by Kate Crew. I read this when it was indie published, so I want to see if the trad published version is different. It does have beautiful artwork inside. It's about a girl whose father kind of locks her away and she runs off with a guy who rides a motorcycle. If you like dark romance, if you liked Wolf and finger pointing, Wolf and Dove behind me, then this is definitely for you. It's going to be part of the Maverick series. So of course I had to pick up the trad version so that they'll all be matching, but I do also own this in indie. We know my issues, but yeah, I just love the pink as well. You need a little bit of a pink book to spice up your month. Then book 21, I know the list is going on, is Beautiful Fiend by Lola King. Gangs, she's tried to escape. He's blackmailing her. It's meant to be very dark. I have had this on my TBR for a while, but I was a little bit scared to go back into really dark romance after not loving Beautiful Venom. But I've reread Beautiful Venom or reattempted it, loved it, and I now think I'm back in my true dark romance era. So this one is number 21 on my list. Then I also have number 22 and 23, which I didn't get to in January, which I said was The Silversmith, and Cruel is the Light. So they are also 22 and 23. Now, in that time, I may also have some ARCs sent to me. I may have some book deliveries. So they could get added to the list, but they're the 23 books that I'm aiming to read. These now go downstairs onto my rotating bookshelves by my bed. So when I'm in a reading mood, these are the ones that I pick from. Let me know in the comments what you're most excited to read in February. And also if there's anything you think, Mills, you've missed that off your list, because I probably have. I probably said I'm going to read something and generally missed it off my list. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you're notified when I go live in the future. And next week, we might be doing a deep dive into Rena Kent because I am feeling a Renaverse reread. Who is she? See you guys next time.